Sometimes the most dangerous risks are the ones that you think you're covered for when you're actually not. Today, we're going to explore some misconceptions for landlords, tenants, travelers, and also home-based businesses. Let's begin. So tenants might think the landlord covers everything. The landlord might think that the tenant covers everything. Now, both of them are wrong. Tenants are responsible for their own personal contents, liability, but also additional living expenses, and a tenant's policy covers these things. If your guest breaks their leg at your home, you may be solely responsible. Now remember, unrelated roommates are not covered under your policy if anything were to happen to them. Landlords get coverage for their own landlord property that they provide in the unit under a landlord's policy. But this might exclude things like tenant vandalism, or if the unit's being used for short-term rentals like Airbnb. Now, if you own an Airbnb unit and your broker hasn't confirmed that you're covered as a short-term rental, you may be exposed if there was an accident to happen. Now, it goes without saying, there's absolutely no coverage if your Airbnb isn't registered with the city. So I've got Diane Chen here, local Vancouver realtor extraordinaire, to share some of her thoughts. So Diane, what are your thoughts on tenants and landlords here in Vancouver?
Well, oftentimes I find landlords don't have a problem getting their insurance. It's often the tenants that are a little hesitant because it is an extra cost. But honestly, it's well worth their peace of mind because I've experienced where one time a tenant lost their bike on the property and they were trying to get the landlords to cover it, but it does not cover it. That's why they have tenant insurance to help you cover your losses like that.
Yep,
yeah.
Very important. So your home insurance policy most likely just covers a small limit of business property. Now, if you're conducting a business out of your home, you should look into a home-based business endorsement to add on to your homeowner policy. And this extends coverage for more business property, business liability, but also loss of income in case something were to happen. Although product liability is not covered, so you should look into a proper commercial policy and you can talk to your broker about that. So Diane, how often do you see home-based businesses amongst your clients?
Well, I've seen businesses as small as just like a den where they use it as a home-based office, and as complicated as beauty salons and even car repair shops in the garage. So when that's the case, I always tell them to definitely talk to their insurance broker so they know exactly what kind of extended warranty and coverage they need.
For sure, especially if they're seeing clients on site or have their property on site to take care of and maintain, that's a huge liability.
Exactly.
A good rule of thumb is that anytime you have any type of construction in your home, you should advise your broker. For major projects that involve your house's structure, you will need a course of construction or a COC policy. Now, how one is defined between a minor and a major renovation project, there's a bit of gray area there. But always allow your broker to advise on what needs to be declared with your insurance company and what coverage changes are needed. If you don't have the right coverages or the insurance company isn't informed appropriately, you may be void of coverages if there was to be an unfortunate accident to your house. So if a contractor causes damage to your house during a construction project, your COC policy should respond. But if the damage is extended to other parts of the house, that's when the contractor's own CGL policy may need to respond. So there is a bit of still of a gray area in these cases, but ask your broker to advise. So Diane, I'm sure you've seen some renovation disasters. What are some experiences that you've had?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, renovations is like opening a can of worms. Sometimes you start with just wanting to maybe upgrade or change your roof a bit or open up a window. Before you know it, you got the city telling you to upgrade to the current standards. But the important thing is that clients should always talk to their insurance brokers and make sure that they're aware of what you're doing in terms of your renovation so that your insurance is covered. Yeah.
If you're living in a condo and your neighbor's leak floods your unit, surprise, you might be the one needing to file a claim in your policy. Frustrating? Yes, absolutely. Just know that strata bylaws are always different, and where they put responsibility can be sometimes very unpredictable. So if you own a condo, your base condo policy may exclude coverage when your strata charges you for a water damage deductible. Now, when would you be charged this? When your unit floods the building. Now, it's very important that you analyze your strata policy and work with your broker to make sure that you are covered for that amount. Now, when it comes to overland water coverage, that's not just a coverage for houses. If you're a condo unit owner and your building floods, overland water coverage covers you for additional living expenses if you're not able to access your unit. Also, if you have storage units that are in the ground floor or in the basement that are flooded, this coverage would also respond. Condo insurance coverage and strata bylaws are all very complicated, so comment below if you have any other questions and we'll be sure to respond to those. Now, when it comes to earthquake deductibles, I've talked about this in another episode, but those will essentially be split amongst all the condo unit owners. So in other words, all of you will need to pitch in for that deductible. Lending your car to a friend, you might want to think again. If you're lending to a car to a friend that's not listed on your insurance policy and they cause a crash, you might get charged by ICBC. However, ICBC's unlisted driver protection can help prevent this fee. Whenever an unlisted driver uses your car and crashes, you will not be charged an extra fee. But remember, all household members do need to be listed on your policy. And remember, the crash history follows the driver and not the car. Many travelers feel like the travel coverage on their credit card sounds amazing and is enough until they read the fine print. Well, that might actually not be the case. Standalone travel policies ensures you have more medical coverage abroad, but also make sure you have coverage for delays in flight and baggage, but also theft for your baggage. One thing to note, however, is that for credit cards, coverage is only applicable if you use that credit card to pay for your flight. So make sure you have enough coverage when you're stepping out of the house onto your next vacation. You never want that to be turned into a nightmare. Well, that's it for me. Time to go work on my much needed tan. When it comes to insurance, simple misunderstandings can be very costly. But congratulations, now you're insurance smart and smarter than the average person when it comes to handling your own insurance matters. See you next time, and follow for more insurance tips from Park Georgia Insurance.